The second piece of educational technology I'm going to be talking about is known as HHMI Biointeractive. So pretty similar to CK12, this is sort of an online database. I will say this is a little bit more pointed towards science, as you can kind of see here. Obviously, as a science teacher, this is great for me. What I typically will use this for is sort of their interactive features that they have. They have really good computerized automations, especially for cell biology. So one in particular that I recently used was known as the Virus Explorer. So just sort of getting my students to actually get to see the structures of these viruses, learn a little bit about them. I'll go ahead and launch the recorder for you. So it just sort of shows, you know, the most common viruses that we deal with. Primarily what we were talking about had to do with coronavirus. It was just sort of what we were having a conversation about. So this was a great way to talk about it. They're able to pull up the 3D model of it, kind of grab it, interact with it, twist it around, see the structure in 3D. So we got to see, you know, what these spike proteins that everyone were talking about, what those were. You can also see a cross-section of it to see like the actual inside of it, sort of the RNA genome and the envelope and everything like that. It also is really nice. It shows the replication cycle. So as the actual virus is attaching to our cells and entering them to the point where they exit through exocytosis. Again, it has really good information here, shows just some basic information about it, sort of maybe where it came from, some of the major outbreaks. So there's a lot of different things like this. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool way to be able to visualize these things that are really hard to visualize. Another one that we were looking at was the Ebola virus. It's just really nice that they can, once it loads up, they're able to actually manipulate the structure of the virus and sort of see how it really looks. Kind of just looks like a little twisted worm. But my students really seem to enjoy being able to do this, and the information on here was pretty good. So it wasn't just the Virus Explorer. There's other places or other things that you can use this for. One of the other ones that I find very interesting, as always, is cell biology. Another one I found here is sort of talking about your immune system. They have really great introductory videos and then sort of go into different barriers to infections and then break down the big key players in the immune system. It does a really good job of providing good visuals for students that they can't find in their textbooks. Occasionally we'll ask questions, you know, have them test their knowledge. But overall, it's just a really good place to go ahead and supplement some of your material that you're covering in class. So the goal here is to, again, increase student interest and engagement through these types of, you know, nice virtual representations. It is mostly intended for high school and above. Some of these are really complex. You can see here that some of the content that we get into is definitely something that even some of my students, you know, would not respond well to just because of their reading level. So definitely a higher, meant for a higher level of student. So this covers IACE for students 1.1C, also for students 1.1D. The only thing that's really required here is, again, to just sort of look at whatever you're currently covering. So if I am covering cell biology, I could go ahead and just type in cell biology, and it'll display all the different things that I can choose from that they have. So it's a really great resource if you are a science teacher.